Lincoln, listen.
Hey.
Lord Lincoln, we've been meeting in spaces, I guess, for years.
Definitely.
And you know, I'm so proud of the work that you're doing. And I want to welcome you to Coffee Table Talk. It's such a pleasure to have you here with me. You know, we're in this season of, we want people to learn and know more about the work that Hands for Hunger do. For people to realize that, yes, we want you to participate in Paradise Plates, but we want you to understand why we actually do Paradise Plates and some of the programs that we're so passionate about. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is growing our own food. And as we grow our food, we're tying that into food insecurity. A lot of people do not really grasp or understand what is food insecurity and how, you know, we can do things right at home.
Yep, definitely.
To be able to have something to eat.
Yep.
You know, we started the Hands for Hunger Pantry 2 years now.
During COVID,
we're 2 years.
Yeah,
we're 2 years. Wow.
Remember when you kicked off?
Listen, and I was so excited about that. You know,
Yeah.
that's been an amazing program that has impacted so many lives. But with our pantry, one of the things that we've done is we've given our backyard farming kits. We've encouraged our clients to basically grow their own foods, but it's so easy. You know, every vegetable or fruit that we eat has a seed.
It does.
We don't even have to go.
And if it doesn't, look at it again.
But the thing is, we don't even have to go and buy seed. We can grow food and be able to feed ourselves, which reduces food insecurity.
Correct.
And I say that, when I say the term food insecurity, I want people to understand food insecurity is not having access to food. Because some people hear that name, food insecurity. It's like, I'm telling you, no, we're food insecure. We don't have that access, and it doesn't mean that we're poor.
Right.
Sometimes food insecurity is having to make the tough choice of, do I pay my rent or do I go and buy food?
Yeah.
And so, you know, you guys, you've ventured into agriculture, sustainable practice.
Yeah.
And you know me, I'm that sustainable agriculture girl.
Oh, yeah.
And I love how you guys are taking that bold approach. You know, you're growing foods, but you're doing it in such a innovative way. And now you're having the conversations, the harsh conversations of what it means to grow our food so that we do not need to depend on people, and we have what we need to eat. So share a little bit about, you know, what it's like at Eeden Farms.
First off, Precious, it is an honor to be here. I've been following Hands for Hunger for years, and I just love the amazing work that you've been doing in the communities on so many different levels, macro and micro level. You know, like you said, people look at Hands for Hunger and think it's only one or two things going on, but I mean, Hands for Hunger has something going on every single day. You know, and it's inspiring. The level of consistency is so great. You know, it's been around so long, and you continue to just enhance on the great work that you're doing. And so I just want to salute you and the entire team at Hands for Hunger for everything that you all have been doing. On the topic of food insecurity, really big topic right now, not just in the Bahamas but throughout the region. I think that COVID-19 really accelerated these conversations, these tough conversations. You know, people have been talking about agriculture and food security for decades, but no one has been putting, the tangible steps in place to really figure out how to solve it. And so I'm happy, you mentioned the backyard farming kits, because honestly, it just starts with a seed. People look at this issue and think it's so difficult, but as simple as you planting maybe some vegetables, some lettuce and tomatoes in your backyard, that's a way for you to grow food that you can consume at your table, that you don't have to purchase from the grocery store. At Eeden Farms, we began with containerized farming system, and those systems allow us to grow food 365 days out of the year using hydroponic vertical technology. And we've seen so much interest from restaurants, hotels, just persons interested in the technology, even from a career aspect. We have young people who have never looked at agriculture before, now looking at it as a tangible career. And so, we're trying to make it more attractive. And growing our food security, as I always say, is national security. No matter what we don't have in this world, one thing we got to do is eat, we got to drink to survive. And so the mission of Hands for Hunger and tying that in with food security is so important, because there are so many people that don't have access to food. And not just access to food, but access to nutritious food, right? And all of that ties in, and it does make a big difference when you look at some of the health issues happening in our region, and the list goes on. And so it's a big topic.
But it's so crazy as you spoke. Growing up as a young child, my grandparents had every
thing in the backyard,
tree in their backyard. They farmed.
Yeah.
They farmed, like they actually farmed. They had to. I remember my grandmother. Obviously, I have two, but on my mother's side, she's from the island of South Andros.
Oh yeah.
And every single thing she grew: cassava, potato, vine grapes, mango, sapodilla,
and they live off of that.
Watermelon, cantaloupe, pepper. My grandfather even had a tobacco tree. I mean, it's off topic, but the point is, back in the day, they farmed because that's all they knew how to do. They fished. They wanted something to eat. All they did was go outside.
Yep.
And when I think now about even like talking about growing and food insecurity, it's like, do we need to begin empowering people to have that enthusiasm to grow their own foods, to realize that everything we need can be done right outside.
Correct.
And it's so interesting now that I look back at it today, because we love things now as human. We want everything easy.
Instant,
easy. We don't want to do the labor that our grandparents did years ago. Yeah. But we can definitely say that our grandparents, their generations, they did not have to endure the levels of food insecurity that, people today endure. And, with summer approaching, this mango season.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, minus me. But this is mango season. And I just ate 6 mangolas before coming here today. And when summer comes around, we have every native fruit almost growing on every tree. And because of that, it shows me that we can have access to food. And I think now the conversation has to shift away, even though we're telling people, it's so easy to grow with just a seed. It's now we have to begin empowering them. Hey, you can do this right in your backyard. It's important for you to want to have certain trees, avocado trees, grow lettuce. I thought growing lettuce was hard.
No, man.
Until I realized I could grow everything: cabbage, spinach.
Yep.
And even when I look at some of the farming that's happening in schools, because even before the pandemic, that's been a huge project for us, getting farms into schools.
Excellent.
So that the schools can then begin to grow foods and be able to use those same foods in home and nutrition in their cooking classes, and then begin to have their own farmers market where the proceeds from that can go right back into some of the food programs. And there's so much work to be done. But you know what? I think now we need to look at, empowering people to understand, why this work is so important, why we're having these hard conversations, why we need to come up with an action plan and not just keep talking so loosely about food insecurity. You've been a huge supporter, and there have been times when Eeden Farms has donated to our pantry fresh lettuce, and let me tell you, the people went wild. Even me, I went wild. What would you say, what can farmers do to help Hands for Hungers? If you had something that you can tell them, what would that be?
Yeah. Again, I think the farming initiatives is excellent, some of the work that you've been doing. One of the things that's happening in agriculture is that there's a lot of wastage in agriculture, right? So farmers are growing a lot of things, but either between transport or not being able to distribute in time, there's a lot of wastage. And so if you're a farmer or if you're a backyard farmer and you have a surplus of goods, whether it be a variety of different crops, donate that to the Hands for Hunger Pantry. Give back in that tangible way, because the crops are wasting anyway, and this is globally. Wastage is a huge part of the agricultural problem globally, and it's no different here locally. And so I think that companies, small farmers, anyone that is in that growing space should consider allocating a certain amount of crops to give back to the pantry and Hands for Hunger and other similar initiatives to really assist with driving home that food security challenge and helping out. You know, it's a great way to give back, and I think it's something that people will get behind. I think there needs to be more education and awareness about it, but it's something that we support. We will encourage other companies to do the same, you know, and just keep up the great work.
So if you're listening, you know, and you want to donate, but you don't have it to donate, you can still farm with us. You know, since we've opened the community garden, we've been encouraging people to come out and adopt a plot. And adopting a plot, you don't pay any money, basically. You get to come in and grow foods that you're able to give us a small percentage back that goes back into our pantries. So, you know, we understand that not everybody has that backyard space. Not everybody has the resources to actually grow food. But we are giving people that opportunity. If this is what they're passionate about, if this is, they jump on and say, well, you know what? I need some place to grow food. We got you covered.
Hands for Hunger.
Listen, we have you covered. And all you have to do is send a quick email to precious@handsforhunger.org. And listen, I'm gonna get you involved. Thank you so much for being a part of the conversation. Thank you for, you know, being a part of the action for us to make change as we tackle food insecurity together. Paradise Plates is coming up September 30th.
My favorite.
Listen, I don't even have to say save.
I don't
have to say save the date, because I know that, you know, this is what everybody's going to be at Paradise Plates. But we want them to know, learn, and understand why we do Paradise Plates and how important Paradise Plates is for us. And so tickets go on sale June 30th. I mean, set your calendar timers now, because you don't want to miss this. And we want people to get involved and be a part of the Hands for Hunger movement, not just at Paradise Plates, but going on forward every single day of their lives. So thank you.
Excellent.